All right, we have joining us now a public affairs analyst, Philip Agbese. He's joining us from our Abuja studio. Philip, good morning. It's good to have you join us right now.
Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you. All right, we know you've been following what is going on generally. A lot of analysts and followers of this dimension of killings and herdsmen and farmer issues or talk about are saying that it seems the whole thing is moving beyond the issue of land, the issue of actual herdsmen and farmers. It is something far beyond that right now, heading towards maybe terrorism or maybe Boko Haram rearing its head in another dimension. What have you been assessing?
Well, when you say it is Boko Haram, I'm very sure you are talking about Benue State, where an aide of the governor directly involved in this crisis and knowing fully well that he has been a Boko Haram member, was engaged to carry out certain activities, and the security agencies have obeyed that. They've arrested him. I think that is the terrorism issue. But far beyond that,
the government has debunked that. The government of Benue State did not agree with that anyway. I'm just to put the record straight.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, it is not about the record straight. These are security issues, and as far as we are concerned, the governor of Benue State has been more of a political drama king about the crisis. He hasn't really helped the situation. He has his mindset on the situation, and he brought us to this point where we are today. Well, the question of whether Tashaku, the Boko Haram suspect member, who happens to be his aide, with clear evidences that he has been drawing money from the state treasury for purposes not known, is actually before the court in Benue. I wouldn't want to delve into that, but that notwithstanding, it doesn't really change what we know. It doesn't change the truth. It doesn't deviate from the fact that the herdsmen crisis, particularly in Benue State, has been more of a political issue for our people than a security issue. And like the herdsmen issue, when we talk about large
I think that we must thank God that the government has also been able to handle to large extent. But I think as somebody from the community who are raised by insurgency, I know better, trust me, understand, as a chief, a member of the member of the Tribunal Council, we understand that crisis is expected and asking for this communal issue. The picture being painted outside is actually very far from the truth. And I think because of this dramatic affair, their selfish interest and agenda to propose, they have made the world to see the bigger thing. Mind you that some of these persons, the governor of Taraba came through and the eggheads of this crisis, no member of their family has been affected by this crisis. Not a single family, the governor of the state, one of the largest families in the state, where statues and family, and not any of these things have been affected by these things. So I think it's a question of politics taking too far. As far as we are concerned.
Right here, it's a bit difficult for us to hear Philip Agbese very well. We hope our viewers are able to make sense of what he's saying in terms of the audio output. But he's back. Okay, now, you seem to be re-echoing what government is saying, that this is more of a political than a security issue. People who are observing, both from within and outside the country, are saying that this political diagnosis of this crisis may be the reason why government doesn't seem to be able to come down hard on, this those behind these killings.
Very much. I think our leaders have brought us to this point of those who actually instigated and masterminded the crisis towards this crisis. I take you back to the situation in Mabila State where about 800 women and children were actually killed. It took an ethic dimension. People were not ready to criticize this, and that is the feeling of our sense of humanity as a country. And like I continue to advocate, we should, as a people, be against the killing and shedding of blood, not actually because the person's kids belong to one particular ethnic group or the other, but because these people are collective members of humanity. And like all the religious schools, the Bible, the Quran, and every other religious instrument, even what we use, particular institution, they are actually against killing. Since over 2 to 4 these things have been actually very clear in the traditional set in Nigeria. I haven't seen any situation where we are pleased with the shedding of blood. And I know that Christians and Muslims alike also abhor that. And that makes it very funny when you begin to listen to interventions by religious leaders like serious pastors who do not even understand the enormity of the crime and harm they don't outside. They give it religious coloration. And I think that to a large extent, when we talk about security, it's the extent to which the state has also been able to appreciate and they understand the situation that we now have this level of respite after a few arrests has been made. You can see today that since the political activities picked up in some political parties, those who have been fingered by various human rights supporters across the country are now really campaigning and looking for one elected position or the other. The issue of Herdsmen has actually died down. And yesterday too, Boko Haram is very head from part of the law because it's also time for politics and those persons who were fingered in the past sponsors of Boko Haram crisis in Nigeria are now back to business, they want to return to power. But having all these things, as a matter of fact, it is a security challenge for all of us to have come to challenge our sense of humanity and sense of patriotism and people of one great nation. But we must strongly, as a people, also prove to these naysayers, those who want to drag Nigeria back, that it's practically impossible. Coupled with the efforts that have been made, the sacrifices that have been made by our armed forces, the Nigerian army, its leadership, and some other control structure, men and women have paid a supreme price for us to have peace in our country today. Why are we not interested in supporting what they have done? You know, like in Toronto yesterday, we read compound of news that people were engaging Boko Haram terrorists with yes parties. These are all political because they know.
Philip Agbese, if I may come in very quickly, the federal government actually came out not too long ago saying that the killings are not ethnic and do not have any religious connotations. That as a matter of fact, different segments, including the media, have actually not understood the historical perspectives of this. But now it is clear, obviously, the government now understands what is at the core of this. Should we begin to expect solutions now? Should we look down the line maybe in 3 months and see that truly government, including, of course, the security forces, have been able to push back these killings across the country?
Yes, as a matter of fact, even our security center the victims of this attack, which shows that it's virtually targeted at the foundation of our country. The third dimension to this that these people are normal or terrorists or migrating from one region to the other. Well, we cannot completely reach that because we understand what happened in Libya and the crisis around the Maghreb from Mali, Chad, and currently, the Boko Haram attacks for these areas have been, ascribed to the activities of our neighbors who have not been able to commit themselves completely and totally to the war against projects around our families, international families. Reason being that we understand that the forces attacks are planned in Chad, Niger, and all these places. So we cannot completely take that away, most of the assessment sites. So these people are normal moving around. But you see, where I think the government also got it right, because two persons are actually in the swamp, the herdsmen and the farmers. But all of us, based on our feelings as public information, we have failed to give it the needed toleration. We have failed to accept the truth and the fact that it's actually crisis party. So thanks to that number, both herdsmen and farmers are deceived. There's been attacks, there's been reprisal attacks, and then for us to get anything, because our one of us said that almost then to tell ourselves the truth as a country. But some time ago, I was in a restaurant in London, and the guy was talking to his brother on phone, and I overheard him when he said that, did I not tell you that everybody should remove Mama from that place? That now it has happened. And after the conversation, I asked him what happened. He told me that people in Enugu, some Fulani people, and they've been expecting a reprisal. And he had to evacuate his mother from Enugu to Lagos. And that day, people had come to attack. He was actually celebrating that he had taken his mother.
All right, Philip.
How many persons can we actually evacuate from our community?
Philip, let me ask you, Philip, let me ask you this. You have admitted or said earlier that this issue, the herdsmen farmer issue, is more political than security, as the case may be. Now that we are recording more attacks on security agents, how more dangerous or how more complex is this issue, whether you would call it political or call it historical, as the case may be?
Yes, you see, that is the problem we have as a country, where people who ordinarily should know who decide to create, and the media are not even accepting matters to try to dignify and glorify this person. I give you a perfect example. The former chief of army staff, with all due respect, Lieutenant General T.Y. Danjuma, he once said that our security forces are colluding with the herdsmen. But today, facts are proving otherwise, that our security men are not colluding with anybody. Because today, even the target of the attack, okay, like what happened recently in Bonos, the attack was on the military. The Taraba people have been attacked, the military have been attacked. I think what we need to do, first and foremost, is to untie the hand of our security agents. We should give them the benefit of the doubt to be able to protect us. Because the situation where we don't even trust them, like the kind of bad blood that was told by National General T.Y. Danjuma on national television.
He even took it abroad. He exported it, to the United States of America, where he tried to blackmail the country and its security agencies. If we do not give them this, if we do not give them that level of confidence to be able to protect every one of us, I think it's not going to go well. And now that they have been attacked, it is high time, we stop politicizing the activities of security agencies, interventions caused by them. These people protect everybody. They protect all of us. They don't know who is a Christian. They don't know who is a Jukun. They don't know who is a Muslim. They go out, have sleepless nights, to ensure that we are able to sleep in our homes with our children and wives. This time, they are exposed to danger. And today, we have clearly seen the killings of security personnel across the country, both commanders, generals, and everybody. So it is evil. What we must understand as a country is that the attacks are evil. It is something against us as is against humanity. We must come out open and clear to condemn it.
Yes, indeed. We do get your points. Philip, if we may come in here. Recently, the U.S. government actually came down hard on the Nigerian government, saying that it really has to do something decisive, especially in the area of apprehending these killers. What the U.S. has been saying is, it seems government is not doing enough when it comes to, apprehending these people, so that it, of course,
that is the height of diplomatic balderdash. People in Benue, the aide of the governor Teshaku has been arrested. In Taraba, a member of the State House of Assembly, a local government chairman of Taku was arrested. Why are they not talking to countries like the United Arab Emirates that has continued to hide people like Ahmed Sakida, people who promote terrorism in Nigeria? Why are they not aware that recently Senator Ali Dume was invited by the Defense Military Intelligence for interrogation? Arrests have been made. So that, as a matter of fact, I think is just a reflection of some myopic mindset and what some persons have exported abroad.
Philip,
does not represent
Philip, let's keep our language in check so we don't flip over. Now, the point there is, it is only the court. It is only the court of law. Anybody can be arrested, but it's only the court of law that can pronounce someone guilty of any allegation. If there are arrests and they have not been taken to court and the court has not investigated and then made a pronouncement, you can't say they're guilty of anything. So, but let's come.
No. But for partners, people who are supposed to be partners, to support what we are doing, when they come out to speak in languages like this, you understand that probably people are either being used or people are beginning to pursue interests that are not in the interest of our collective existence as a nation. However, I respect the United Nations, I respect the United States of America, and whatever support they're giving to our country in recent time. But I think they can do better than what the president has. That report, has said.
What more do you think countries like the United States, France, the UK, what more do you think they can do? in helping out?
Fantastic. So many persons have been, okay, recently, the family of Mr. Nnamdi Kanu were to travel to Switzerland, and the Swiss authorities rejected their visa application that they could constitute threats to their country upon arrival or something. Reasons were actually given. People who promote and export these things abroad are people that are already known. There have been reports in our country. Civil society organizations have been able to investigate and pinpoint them. But because of their level in the society and the amount of resources available at their disposal, you know, they rent crowd to sell out narratives that they want to deliver to the public. And I read in the newspaper some time ago that Jonah Jang was actually the one that instigated the crisis in Plateau after he was arrested on charges of corruption. And he vowed that, you know, he was going to make Plateau ungovernable. And nobody did anything about it.
Well, the point there is all those,
the UK, US, and
Philip, all those allegations and reports, or maybe even rumors that you read, as far as you read them on papers and you were not there, we take them as one of those kind of reports, and we certainly cannot authoritatively verify or substantiate all of those. But let's bring it back to...
Yes, I understand.
Yes,
I understand,
let's bring it back to...
Crisis,
yes,
the killings
Philip,
that all of us
Philip, let's bring back to... Let's come back to the main issue. Philip, let's come back to the main issue here. The federal government, even by constitution and by convention, is the sole institution that is meant to protect and secure the lives and property of Nigerians. If we narrow it down to what is happening in Plateau State, in Taraba State, in Benue State, for instance, would you say the federal government really has not done much? Or maybe the government has failed in protecting lives and property?
No. It will be insensitive and even callous to say that the Nigerian state has failed in its obligation of protecting life and properties of its citizens.
Tell us why.
I stand to be challenged and corrected at any point in time. Reason being that sometimes I tell people that the current administration did not even understand the enormity of challenge in terms of security issues that it was going to inherit as of 2015. Things were so bad. I give you Plateau, for instance, killings every day in Plateau before this government came on board, both the state government and the federal government. Crisis everywhere in Plateau State, killings every day, and these things have been reduced. I think it was just recently, early this year, that the ugly incident reared its head again. And that is why we continue to say that the political intervention
Philip,
this crisis,
but Philip, the killings in the one by Boko Haram and even the herdsmen here and there in Plateau, if we keep that aside, it was just a few years ago, especially this year, that Benue, for instance, that never used to know issues of killings in Benue started. So does it have to do with does it have to do? No, Philip.
You see, when people talk about Benue, dispensation? I laugh because
Philip,
you know, when you have a drama king, you know, as governor of your state, some of these things are bound to happen.
Philip, are you saying?
Example.
Are you saying that the killings in Benue were not real? Are you saying the killings in Taraba State or Plateau are not real? When you call the governor a drama king, why would you say that? Are you saying the killings are not real?
No. You see, some of these things. No, some of these things are real, and we condemn them in totality. Whether it is one person that was killed or two persons, that doesn't really matter. I think what matters is, you know, our ability to be able to address these things squarely. And you know why we call some people drama kings? People that are expected to be custodian, you know, of truth. People that are supposed to address issues decisively. The way these issues were handled by particularly the governor of Benue State and governor of Taraba State, you will agree with me that, you know, so many factors were acting on it. Okay, for instance, the governor of Benue State before this time was not paying salary. That insecurity was naturally created by the governor himself, because when people do not have food, they've worked and they've not been paid.
Philip, that's a strong allegation. Philip, that's a strong allegation against the governor of Benue State.
No, the issue of salary, you see, the hunger is the greatest threat to humanity. So to say that hunger contributed to the insecurity in Benue State, I don't think is an allegation. It's a statement of fact.
But the herdsmen
For
are not
instance,
employees.
if you are not paid by your employer today, how are you going to survive? Are you not going to be a threat to the society?
Philip Agbese, the herdsmen are not employees of government, not even at any level.
No. We are saying that the failure of governance.
Yes.
The herdsmen farmers crisis in Nigeria is a failure of governance from the local government to the state.
But that is a blame that has been put at the doorstep.
It's a failure of governance.
That's a blame that's been put at the doorstep of the federal government.
Yes, you see, we have dissected this thing properly. The question of land, the question of anti-open grazing laws and interaction between these persons. Well, we are saying is a problem with the federal government, but today some governors are before the EFCC, making attempts to justify how they have spent their security vote. You see, we always dodge from the real issue. When it is time to spend money, it is the question of the state government. But when it is time to account for the money, it is no longer an issue for the state government. It is the responsibility of the federal government. It's a big lie.
Yeah, but Philip,
when
it comes to the issue
by these governors.
Yeah, but Philip, if we have to go to the issue of security vote, in fact, security vote has always been there over the years, over the decades. We've always had the issue of security vote.
Now,
but if we have to face this, if we have to face the fact, Philip, excuse me,
to maintain their domain.
Yeah, excuse me, Philip. We have to face the fact. You and I know.
For people to
Philip.
in their domain.
Yeah, Philip.
So when you take the security
Philip. Listen to me, Philip. We all know, Philip, that the police and the SSS, the military, and all the security apparatus are under the purview or under the jurisdiction or the powers or the authority of the federal government and not the states. So when we talk about the issue of how to handle security at the state level, if the federal government doesn't do the ultimate, what can the states do?
You see, this is where we always get it wrong in Nigeria. We allow it to become a crisis situation and we light the house and begin to look for the firefighters to help us quench it. If we do the right thing, we ensure that there's harmonious working relationship between members of the same community. I take you to the anti-open grazing law in Benue State. A law was made in September, the law being implemented in November. They said they constituted a civilian joint task force to implement the law, which is against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because we know very well that it is the responsibility of the police to maintain law and order in every society. So when it was time to instigate this crisis, we didn't know it was the federal government. We didn't know that the police, being ordered by the federal government was supposed to implement the law. We created our own police to keep the law. We instigated a crisis. The fire started burning. We are looking for the federal government. We are looking for the police. We are looking for the army. I am very, very sure that some of these persons who always want military, police, and SSS to be deployed to crisis areas so that they can be killed do not even have members of their families in the armed forces.
Are you justifying the IG's failure to actually stay on ground when he was given a marching order, a directive to be on ground in a place like Benue, for example, and the president
I will never support any security agent who is taking money from the taxpayers' purse and will violate either a superior instruction given by the commander-in-chief of the armed forces or on his own not know what to do. Today, the chief of army staff is somewhere in the northeast. I read somewhere. He's with the troops. He's in
Gudumbali
to address the issue of resurgence in the northeast. So as a matter of fact, I do not support that. But that, should not be the bane of the herdsmen crisis and the solution to it in Nigeria.
So what do you think? What do you think then? What do you think is the solution, Philip Agbese, going forward? We know that the federal government has set up this committee to mop up small arms in that part of the country. An initial directive had been given by the IG to the commissioners of police. We don't know what has happened to that. And now this directive to mop up arms. What is the solution, really?
You see, that directive, mopping up arms, would just constitute to about 10 to 20% of the solution to the crisis. First and foremost, we must look at, a judicial commission of inquiry to first to unravel the true situation, to look at administrative justice to those who have been affected by this crisis, genuine justice, not situations where the NEMA will provide intervention and some state governors and their wives will sit down and put these things in their houses. We have to look at the justice, the justice system, you know, in this. You know, how many persons have lost their life, the level of destructions in the various communities, and now address the true issues between the herdsmen. Because if we remember very well, in some of these communities, some of these persons have lived and coexisted amongst themselves for more than 50 years. If
That's
not
true.
until the advent of the law in Benue State, some persons are even, have we all forgotten that it was the governor of Benue State who said some people are, what's it called? That some people are domestic, that some people are indigenous Fulanis. So we must, you know, go back to that area of thinking to understand that there must be justice to all.
Well, it's
Justice
okay.
to all.
Well,
Fairness.
Okay,
Okay.
we stand by that.
That's
Justice to
well
all,
taken.
fairness to all. But however, we thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah, we thank you, Philip Agbese, for joining us on the program today. Thank you very much. Well,
you.
when it
It's
comes
my
to
pleasure, Mike.
yeah,
Thank
when
you.
it comes to the issue of you know, indigenous heads, what is it called?
Fulani.
Fulani.
According to-
Well, Fulani is an ethnic group. They are everywhere. It's just like having Yorubas across Nigeria and
and
Benin Republic, just like having
any
Juku
Nigerian
or having
shouldn't have a
Ijaw
right to live
anywhere.
anywhere.
That is totally different from
Yeah.
the issue of those who are involved in the killing and herdsmen.
Absolutely.